do a quick bit of housekeeping. We've had a bit of a swap round at Conversation Shed, basically because, well, you know, you like to take everything out of the shed, clean it, and then put it all back in the shed, because, you know, no one wants to throw anything away. So within that process, we have got a nice new look hobby time, mainly because I've got more to grips with photo and film editing, so it's all looking a lot nicer, and it's going to be a new format to the show. I think Russ in his gardening is growing new bits and pieces and looking after bugs and helping you out with everybody else's allotments, and I think I'll let him tell you more about that. And my format now is going to be sort of trying to do 2 videos a week on the Monday and the Friday. Sort of Monday will be a little bit of a reveal, you know, what we're doing, what's going on in the week. Give you guys, if you want to try and keep up, it give you a chance to go out and buy the model if you haven't got it, or have a look at any kind of tools you might need, and then we'll sort of carry on with the Friday. I'm going to try and compact it all down. It's a little difficult because I am still a bit new to the whole filming thing. I still take modelling at a pretty slow pace, to be honest, but we'll see how we go, see how this one goes. If you guys like it, you know, put a like on it and subscribe. If you don't, let us know what you do want to see. Because of that, we are a video short, or I am a video short for Friday, tomorrow, and so I thought what I'd do is go through a couple of tools, and perhaps I've got a quick unboxing to do because I bought a new model the other day. So I just thought of you guys that are starting modelling, a couple of the essential things that I think everybody should try and get hold of. It will just make your life easier. You don't have to, but it will make your life a lot easier. The first 2 things I'm going to chat about are my side cutters and a hobby knife. These side cutters are brilliant. Not particularly these ones, but this type, this kind of. I mean, I've got like a cheaper set here. They do exactly the same job. They just haven't got all the, you know, big handles and paraphernalia. But I'll put a link in where you can get them from. But what you can do with these is you can cut the items off the sprue a lot easier than you can with a hobby knife. I used to cut things off with a hobby knife, and what I found is when you have like little aerials and thin pieces of plastic, what happens is you cut it off and the thin bit snaps in half. So what you can do is you can cut it off the sprue with these. You can get as close to the model, or I mean, I sort of recommend that you get as close to the model as you can with these, and then you can just use your hobby knife, which is, you know, very sharp and like a scalpel, just to shave off and get rid of the extra bit of plastic that's on the model. You can also, so yeah, these are brilliant. Somebody else told me about them. I watched other models and YouTube things, but I can highly recommend you get yourself a set of those. And with your hobby knife, it doesn't really matter what kind of hobby knife you get, but this is the sharp piece of modelling. It's very, very sharp. We've all got scars of modelling. So be careful, and if you're a little person, just make sure that you're supervised by an adult, or that you get your mum or your dad or whoever to cut the pieces off the sprue for you, so you don't have to play about with one of these. These are also quite good for getting rid of flash. Now flash is what we all call it, is when you get an older model, or, you know, perhaps if they haven't just moulded it right, when they injection mould, when they put the 2 moulds together and clamp them, they inject the plastic into the mould. Sometimes if they haven't clamped them down hard enough, you get a little bit of leakage out the side, so you have to cut that bit off, and these are perfect for doing that. But like I said, just be very careful. Even wear gloves when you're doing it, but just be very careful with one of those. I don't want anybody getting hurt. The next thing is a nail file. This is, I think this is a Boots one, because I quite like this. It's quite expensive, you know, for a nail file, but you can use any kind of nail file, anything sand rough, and literally after you've cut your bit of plastic off the sprue, you can shave it off with your knife and then give it a bit of a sand, and it gets rid of all the marks, or you can get rid of any kind of imperfections on any part of the model. And they're just really handy. I know, I mean, this probably isn't the brilliant one. I wish I had some of the other ones. I mean, oh, what they called? There's a modelling people that do some really nice ones that I need to get. I keep trying to get hold of. I can't think of the name. I'll get back to you and put it in the link. But sanding sticks, just generally sanding sticks, well worth getting hold of. Even if it's your first model, they're only a couple of quid. Well worth it. The next thing is a good set of tweezers. What I would do is have a look around and see if you can find yourself a little set, because they're all useful. This was the set I sort of got hold of, because you've got a nice little pair with the bent tips, so you can put it in at an angle. Just a standard nice pair of tweezers, just fat pair for picking up bigger pieces, so that when you pick them up you don't push them too hard and they go bing off into the carpets. And these are really good, that work the opposite way, that lock shut, so that they can hold your decals when you put your decals on. Well worth getting a good set of tweezers. Every model's got tiny little parts that you can't pick up with your fingers, or I can't because I've got massive hands. And I think that is probably about it. When you get your first model, I mean, you'll have paintbrush. I mean, with the nice, you know, the starter sets, you get your paints, you get your glue. The only thing I will say is, glues. On the subject of glues, I use this extra thin Tamiya stuff. It's brilliant. It's like water, so you can just literally dab on, put the piece together, it sticks. But if you haven't got this, okay, or you haven't bought this, the next, when you get your kit, I don't know if you've got one to hand, but you get polycement. You got to be a little bit careful with polycement, because it can go everywhere. The best way to use it, I would suggest, is to squeeze a little bit out onto a piece of cardboard or a bit of plastic and put it on with a cocktail stick. I might show you how to do that in the next model, but I would highly recommend this stuff, because because the glues melt the plastic. If you get them anywhere else on the model, they're going to ruin it for you. But this stuff's really easy to control, and you don't have to put a lot of it on. Just don't use this to stick on your clear plastic parts. The clear plastic parts need specialist glues. The one I'm playing with at the moment, not 100% sure if I'm sold on it, is Revell's Contact to Clear. It's not too bad. It comes with a brush. To be fair, the Humbrol clear glue is brilliant. I've used that quite a lot. I like that a lot. It's a little on the thick side, but it's not too bad. The other thing you can do is to get yourself some PVA glue, because that dries clear. So if you put a little bit of PVA glue in a pot with your cocktail stick, wipe it round the area, stick your canopy on, it's all good. But you just got to make sure that you don't use the plastic cement on the clear parts, because they'll fog up, they go all white. So I think that's probably about it for the tools at the moment. So yeah, so you want your pliers, you need a hobby knife, you need, not for your phone to keep going off, that's going to be the second video on my phone, you need a nice set of tweezers. Where's my sanding stick gone? You could do with a set of sanding sticks, they call them, or nail files. Nail files will do just the job. If you get a packet of nail files, you'll get lots of different grades in it, so they will help you. They will help you sand to different grades and get different pieces off. Oh, I had it in my hands a minute ago. What did this is? This is model. This never happens when you're not. Ah, here it is. When you're not filming. Honestly, if I'm sat here on my own modelling away. So that's a good start. And obviously your extra slim cement on. So I think I've just about got everything there. That's what I use. If there's anything else, I'll add it in. I'll put links to some of these bits and pieces so you can find them. Knives you might have a bit of a problem with if you're in the UK, because you have to be old enough to have one, and you have to prove that you're old enough to be able to buy it off of Amazon, which I didn't realise when I ordered my hobby knife. So you know, you have to prove that you're not going to be a bit of a naughty boy with it. Right, so that's the tool bits out of the way. Let's have a quick look at an unboxing. Right, here we are with the unboxing. Next up, this. Bought it out of Lidl's. Ever so cheap. Thought it was brilliant. I've seen it before. Thought about doing one. It's quite a new, it's a new model for Airfix. So I don't do many jets, so it's worth a look. So here we are. We get your paints. I don't generally use Humble paints. It's not because I have anything wrong with Humble paints. I do a lot of airbrushing, so I use other paints for airbrushing. These are great. I mean, if you have to just make sure you water them down, sort of 50-50, maybe 60-40 paint water, and make sure you put a lot of thin coats on instead of one thick coat. This is the poly cement I was talking about. Let's just open the whole bag. This is the poly cement I was talking about, and this is like a gel almost. So the best thing to do, like I say, is rip the lid off your box when you're doing it, pour a little bit onto the lid, and then put it on with either an old paintbrush or a cocktail stick, but make it a little bit more easy to use. So we've got 19 red, that'll be a matte black, 11, that's a silver, and we have a grey, 64, so that's a grey. And like I said, they're great paints. If you've got nothing else to use, they are really good. I know the red's really nice, I need to get hold of, but just make sure you water them down a little bit. That's a little bit, I mean, the watering down is difficult, it's trial and error. I'd say 50-50, so you want to put a drop of water, drop of paint, mix it together, see what it goes on like. So that's the paints, put them to one side. And we've got old Squeaky in the background. Paintbrush number 2. Now these are good paintbrushes, I will say. They're not like, they're not the most expensive, amazing paintbrushes, but they do paint nice. So I always keep the paintbrushes out of those. And we have the instructions. Instructions are quite nice. You get a little bit about the jet, what it did, what it was built for, a couple of specifications to let you know about it. And then we get the warnings, your safety warnings, obviously because of your knives and your glues. Always make sure you're in sort of a well ventilated area with your glue as well. More information on different languages. And here we have the instructions. So good instructions. I like Airfix. I mean, good instructions. I like Airfix. I've grown up with Airfix. I think their instructions are pretty good. They sort of tell you exactly what you need to know. Now they've started colouring bits that you know where they go. So pretty straightforward. Yeah, looking good. And we have the decals. Yeah, they look pretty nice. Yeah, very nice. I'll do an extra video on decals, and they can be like, they're the bit that almost makes the model, but they can also be the bit that really makes you want to pull your hair out. Let's pop all these over here. And the model itself comes in a plastic bag. Let's have a quick open that up. So we get 1, 2, 3 screws, and you get your clear parts in a plastic bag. All so they don't get scratched or anything. They look pretty good. So here are the screws. Here's the wings. They all look pretty good, to be fair. They are nicely detailed, I will admit. And then we have the body of the jet. I don't know anything about this jet at all, never known one before, no idea what the RAF did with one. Training, I would have thought, and then the wings. But yeah, the nicely moulded, got some nice deep panel lines on there. It should come out quite nicely. Might do this after the next model actually, be quite good, wouldn't it? So the seats, pilots could do with a bit of TLC, but I'm not 100% sure I'll put the pilots in. Not too sure. But anyway, no, it looks like a lovely kit. I can highly recommend. Another decent job by Airfix. I like Airfix a lot. Growing up with them, they were easy to get hold of. They're cheap, and you can go. You can get a lot worse than Airfix. I know a lot of people moan about them. But they're good. If you're just starting out, brilliant. They're not going to break the bank. They do some nice models. So yeah, there we have it. The hunting. Is it that way around? Yeah, the hunting Percival Jet Provost. When I do come find out a little bit more about those, and when we do the actual build video, I'll tell you a little bit more about them. Right. So anyway, well that's it for this week. And look forward to everybody's comments about the new look videos next week. I'll see you all then.